The internet is for everyone. Anyone can just get online and say whatever the hell they want. Their words will then be broadcast all over the world for millions to hear, and inevitably someone's gonna hear you and they'll say, hey, I wanna talk to that person. At least, that's how it's supposed to go, right? I mean, everyone gets online for different reasons, but when someone actually takes the time out of their day to post something, it means they want to be heard. They want someone to listen to their song. They want someone to consider their opinion, to watch their video, to see them. And the crazy thing is, you can do it. With some patience and a little understanding of internet culture and a little bit of hard work, you can reach a lot of people. Attention! I am looking for a woman named Kim Sung-ki. I am in need of an internet expert to help me find her.
Ma'am, I think you're posting in the wrong area. You should try to do a Google search.
Young man or woman, my name is Ruth Gundersberg. Do not lecture me. I have 82 years of experience under my belt, and you will not tell me how to spend the little time I have left. Or, you can take the boomer approach and try to demand respect from complete strangers. I won't say that it won't get results, but I doubt it'll be the kind of results that Ruth here is expecting.
Ruth had effectively decided to take the prison yard approach and getting what she wanted on the internet, and that was to demand respect. Unfortunately, the way the internet works, when you pick a fight with somebody, all that really tends to do is motivate everyone else to also pick a fight with you. This first guy decided that he wanted to help Ruth, and Ruth smacked him down for really no reason other than to establish dominance. But these new folks who kept showing up, they had other plans in mind. They were more along the lines of wanting to make sure Ruth learned her place. And, well, you can probably guess how Ruth responded to that. Look, there's something you should probably know about internet fights. It's something we've all seen, just two people insulting each other back and forth, trying to prove the other one wrong, and it feels, altogether pointless. You're never gonna see somebody change their mind on the internet. You're never gonna see somebody throw a punch. And worst of all, there's no real guaranteed way to end the conversation. Someone can always just keep talking. No one ever gets the last word. An internet fight is a grudge match of the ego. Just two personalities, two essences of people butting heads over and over again until somebody just gives up. And the reason you see that usually is because the only way you can really hurt someone's ego is by weaponizing shame. If somebody actually knows what they're doing, it can ruin someone. And I know what you're thinking. How is cyberbullying real? Just walk away from the computer. True, but words can do a shocking amount of damage. And more often than not, the people I see underestimating the internet are the ones who are getting the most hurt. If somebody actually knows what they're doing, you might come out with hundreds of strangers hating you, your friends hating you, your family even. And most dangerous of all, you might come out of it hating yourself. And that's what made Ruth really stand out. I don't know what it was about her. Maybe she had to spend an entire lifetime writing letters to the editor, but Ruth had weaponized shame. Ruth was brutal. Now, we were in the comments section of a video called How to Make Friends, but I'm pretty sure Ruth hadn't actually watched the video as she was currently tearing into a 17-year-old from Ohio and telling her just how much of a mistake her entire generation was. YouTube comment sections normally aren't the happiest place on earth, but this one was currently feeling like a movie theater with no air conditioning. Ruth had came here to, find her own friend, and instead she had gotten into a bare-knuckled brawl to teach the youth a lesson. So Ruth decided to write up a 1,000-word essay on just how lazy and entitled this young woman's generation was, before finding out that YouTube only had a 500-character limit. She revised her essay and sent her essay, and the girl replied with a succinct, "Shut the hell up, bitch." It would seem a different tact was needed, and this is where Ruth shined. Honestly, above all other boomers I've seen on the internet, Ruth had a special talent for just tapping into the insecurities of the people around her just from a few comments alone. I can only imagine the devastation this woman would be capable of if she saw you in real life. Utilizing the same vocabulary that this teenager was using, Ruth was able to destroy her. Though unfortunately for Ruth, she didn't know this. It's the real problem with internet fights. You won't know if you're actually winning or not. Ruth did have one result, though, from her spectacular showdown. See, when you're on the internet, a great way to make friends is to list all of the things that make you happy. What interests you have, what hobbies, what movies, what books you like. Ruth had spent a considerable amount of effort describing all the things she hates about this woman. Ruth might not know how to make friends, but she is very, very good at making enemies on the internet. So, Ruth, who had been trying to get back in touch with her old pen pal, accidentally got wrapped up in a war with an army of angry commenters. Have you ever heard a beehive after someone just chucked a rock at it? The buzzing of each individual bee just kind of builds and combines with every other bee until it just makes this huge, loud thing. Well, if you could hear comment sections, Ruth had essentially just high-kicked a beehive and, having never backed down from a confrontation in her life, decided to punch every bee in the face. She seemed to have an abundance of free time on her hands, which is why I think she originally decided to start looking for her friend, but now she seemed completely consumed by a new goal. Demanding the respect of every person who commented on this video and crushing anyone who opposed her. Instead of becoming the internet queen, though, all she had really done was trapped herself in a vicious cycle. The more people Ruth tried to destroy, the more people felt compelled to try and stop her rampage. Ruth was an experienced veteran in making people miserable, and this was her element. It's hard to believe this woman had come here looking for a friend, or that she even had friends. At one point, someone even offered to do the thing that she was demanding earlier, and Ruth just called their username offensive. I don't know what kind of person Ruth was in real life, but to accidentally stumble into a YouTube comment section and start demanding help, I can only assume that she didn't have anybody else who was willing to help her. Maybe she realized this. Maybe that's why when the stranger on the internet offered again to help Ruth find her friend, she actually accepted their help. Maybe after 80 years of making people miserable, Ruth wanted to try something else.
This position will not be paid, and I would like for you to find her current home address as well as her telephone number.
Okay. Boomer.
And so Ruth Gunnersberg, for the first time in her life, decided to avoid a confrontation and instead put her faith in a stranger trying to get her to click on a shady link.